Hello everyone, my name's Charlie and welcome to Pack 1 Pick 12. This is a new channel where me and my friend Harry bring you behind the scenes at our local draft events, show you our POV drafting and deck building process, as well as how they play out in our games over the board. This week, we're drafting Aetherdrift. I personally love the set because of how deep it is. It really feels like every single card can find its place into a deck, and there are so many hidden synergies between cards and across archetypes which can lead to some really interesting deck building decisions. So without much further ado, let's jump straight into it. Pack 1, plenty of great picks here. I'm really liking the Afterburner Expert, the Rangers Refueler. I believe Thundering Broodwagon is the highest win rate uncommon of the set. And Grimbobble obviously is also excellent black removal. Wreckage Wickerfolk, great black card that fits into pretty much every deck. But early on, I like picking the cards with the highest ceiling, basically, with the highest upside, basically. So if you build your deck around it, you can really make it pop off. And in my opinion, that card is Afterburner Expert. Every time it goes in the graveyard, with any exhaust ability you activate on the field, you get it right back. So it basically gives you a 4/2 stat boost to any exhaust ability. Makes it pretty cracked if you have even just 1 or 2. So I end up going for that there. Pack 2, a lot of options here. The Skyseer's Chariot is our rare. It's a good card, nothing to write home about, to be honest. Spectral Interference I really love in exhaust decks because you can hold open interference, and if you decide not to counter, you can always exhaust your creature. But here I've got one green card. I'm happy to be in Golgari if I end up there. And Broodwagon is obviously a very high win rate uncommon, and even if we don't end up going in that direction, I think it's strong enough to justify taking it here. Next pick, we have a Stock Up, which I really like. I'm seriously considering the Stock Up. Glory Heath Lynx is obviously a wonderful white card, and our rare here is Quake Feast, which is basically just solid black removal. Value removal very highly, and because its power level is about the same as our other two cards, I'm going to take the strong card that's in our colours, so I take the Quack Feast here. Next pick, nothing I'm really excited about. I think Howler's Heavy is an underrated card because of how much Death Touch is in this format. You can cycle it and effectively kill a Venom Sack-Lagak or Engine Rat for free, and they're rampant in this format, so it does just help you get rid of those pesky 1/1s or 2/1s. But here I end up going for the Maximum Overdrive because I think in a vacuum it's probably just the best card in this pack, so very happy to take it there. Next pack comes around, we've got another Maximum Overdrive. Fang Druid Summoner is a very strong green card, even if you have a single Gibberick Omnivore or anything else. But we do notice a late Haunt the Network here, and Haunt the Network, if you can build Dimir, and if it's open, is one of the strongest decks in Aetherdrift. So I'm going to speculate on the Haunt the Network here, see if we can pick up some artifacts, but I'm not missing anything crazy here. I'm a bit sad about the Summoner, but the upside is just so high, and we're early enough in the draft that I can justify taking Haunt the Network here. Next pick, we've got a Bounce Off, Road Rage, Automaton, and the rare is Colladin. I don't actually think Colladin is that good a card, and also Red-White as an archetype is just not that strong. Strongly considering the Bounce Off, but our colour pool is looking more Golgari at the minute, but I take the Automaton here because I think it has very high upside, works in almost all exhaust decks, and if we do end up in Teamer Exhaust, it's basically the cornerstone of that kind of deck, so we take that there. Next pick, yeah, a lot of adequate cards, nothing I'm going to write home about, but end up taking the Omnivore. Maybe I could take the Pilot, but yeah, just like a 3/2, trades pretty well in the early game, does its job. Next pick, we've got a Sky Streak Engineer, solid card, some fixing in the land, take a Tortoise, but by a long way, Pact Altera is the strongest card here, and it's also in our colours, so just going to take a Pact Altera here. Next pick, we've got Ticket Tortoise and Gear Seeker Serpent. If we're trying to lead it into Dimir, we've got our Pact Altera and Haunt ready, so both of them are viable options. I think Ticket Tortoise is more flexible, and it gives us a cheeky little treasure for fixing. And it looks like we might be playing 3 colour, so I'm very happy to take the Ticket Tortoise at this early point in the draft. Next pick, nothing too interesting, just picking up a Swiftwater Cliffs. We could pivot into white, it's a bit late, but it does seem very open. But yeah, just take the Cliffs here. Take the Aetherdrifter for some card draw potentially, and onto the next pack. So the rare in here is the Verge land. Verges are actually very strong for fixing, but the ones that stand out for me here are Ketradon, great pickup, Mammoth, and nothing else really. Nothing else is quite at that power level. So I think the Mammoth is more of a bomb than a Ketradon. Ketradons kind of get countered by bounce off a lot harder, but Mammoth leaves behind a 3/3. So yeah, take the Mammoth here, and it gives some nice top end in our deck. Next pick, we're choosing between Veloheart Bike, Fang Guardian, and also potentially bounce off, I suppose. But we don't have much blue at the minute, so we're kind of out of blue. I'm thinking seriously about the Fang Guardian. It's an excellent combat trick and can flash it in and block itself, but I like playing 5 colour shenanigans. I like being open to it, so I take the Bike here and speculate on maybe picking some strong differently coloured cards in pack 3. Next pick, we've got a Run Over, a Spectral Interference, a Carrion Cruiser, Slick Imitator, Broadcast Rambler. Lots of excellent cards. I'm trying to gauge how much I'm committing to Dimir at this point, and I'm really still not sure. So I take Carrion Cruiser. I think it's a great card. It's a 2-for-1. Almost always can easily crew that and get a trade at least in with it. And you can pick back up your Aetherdrifter, Mammoth, or Pact Altera from the grave. And if there are any other graveyard synergies, it's a pretty good card too. So get the Carrion Cruiser there. Next pick, we've got Beast Rider Vanguard in an excellent green 2-drop. That's probably the pick here, but I end up going for a Night Market instead for fixing, just because I really do like this strategy, especially in Aetherdrift, of picking up loads of good fixing and then in pack 3 taking all the bombs you can. So I go for the Night Market there. Next pick, I really do like Silken Strength. It's an underrated combat trick, and if your whole deck is built around tempo and combat tricks, does a great job. But here I go for a solid 3-drop. I'm missing plays on 3 that I can just plonk down, and the Surveyor is very underrated in my opinion, so I take the Surveyor. Next pick is close. It's between Grim Bauble and Momentum Breaker for me. None of the other cards I'm really interested in. Potentially the dual color lands, but these are both excellent black cards that I would be foolish to pick up, to pass up even. So I think for me it's the Momentum Breaker. Although the Bauble works well in a Haunt the Network deck, it looks like we're more Golgari, and I'm not sure about our blue splash at this very moment. So I go for Momentum Breaker. It's a good play on 2, and healing 4 when you get to max speed is not negligible at all. Next pick, we've got a Trade the Hell, which I really like. If you have Grim Baubles and Ticket Tortoises in your deck, you can get some crazy power swings with it. You can steal a Ketradon, steal a big vehicle, and just give them a Bauble. Can really turn the tides and clutch it up for you. But I'm very happy to see a second bike. In this period, I'm really looking to pick up some bikes, pick up some universal fixing, and then kind of go crazy on the top end if we pick up some real good bombs in pack 3. So go ahead and take the bike here. Next one, we've got a Ride's End, which I'm surprised to see so late. Also a risky shortcut, but my eye actually goes to Duretti, seeing as we've picked up a Brood Wagon and we have a lot of cheap potential artifacts we can sack in Pit Automaton and Ticket Tortoise, which, keep in mind, itself can be sacked. And also the token that it creates can be sacked, is what I mean to say, to pick up a Brood Wagon, which we can easily put in the bin by cycling it. Next pick, we just go for a Spire Mech cycle, nothing too exciting, probably not going to play it. Next pick, we go for a Slick Imitator, speculating on a max speed build in our third pack, and if we get there, then perhaps we can get some crazy payoffs, because it's very easy to proc max speed with Pact Volterra in our deck. Okay, on to pack 3. We've got a Spectacular Pile-Up and a Zahir Glorious Past. Flood the Engine, also excellent removal. But for me, I want something to fill that 1-drop slot and nothing better than a Stampeding Scurryfoot. Just going to talk about this card a little bit. The reason I think it's so good, and well, just very undeniably good, it's a 1-drop that your opponent has to spend a card dealing with. Because if they don't, you spend 4 mana on its exhaust, which puts a 1/1 on it and creates a 3/3. But that's not just the effect of the exhaust. If you think about it, exhaust cards are basically have the exhaust effect and draw a card, because you don't have to spend a card to have that effect. So if there was a card that said 4 mana, put a 1/1 on target creature, gives you a 3/3 mammoth, I'm playing that card every single time. So it's a no-brainer for me. I'm taking the Scurryfoot. It's pretty busted. Next pick here, I like the Pit Automaton a lot. Again, obviously, Hour of Victory I'm very strongly considering. Tiggertorsus as well. But I think here I probably should have gone for Hour of Victory, given that I could have lent more into the max speed thing, because it can fish for your big drops that can just win you the game. But I'm feeling a bit insecure about my fixing. I like to make sure I have solid early plays. Take the Tiggertorsus here. Maybe it was the wrong decision. Next pick here, we've got a Venom Sac Lagak, another Scurryfoot, notably, which is, as I've said, an amazing card. But Debris Beetle is around an A- tier card, in my opinion. Huge body, easy to crew, really stabilizes you. And there are probably ways that I can cycle it. Like the ideal situation is I get that in the bin somehow. I play Daretti, I sacrifice Tiggertorsus, get my Debris Beetle, attack with Daretti, sacrifice my Debris Beetle, get a Broodwagon, attack again, get my Debris Beetle back. You know, I can just keep cycling my artifacts. And so that's the whole idea with this kind of deck I'm building. So I go for Beetle here. Next pick, I am not too sure this was the correct pick. I've got quite a few artifacts and I could lean into the blue thing. Memory Guardians are very splashable, and I think I do actually have loads of artifacts in this deck. But given I'm playing Daretti and I've got a lot of fixing, I'm not looking great in the removal section. So I go for a Crash and Burn to kill Ketrodons and just to get some pesky things out of the way that I need to kill. And I think it's close, but I think it was the right decision. Other options would have been Memory Guardian. Next pick, it's either Grim Bauble or Back on Track for me. The Hull Drifter, I've already got one. I've got decent card draw. I've got a lot of value in this deck, so I'm okay to not take it. Grim Bauble, we passed the Trade the Helm, so I'm not thrilled about the Bauble. Back on Track gets back our Broodwagon and Debris Beetle, and Autarch Mammoth anyway. Plenty of big drops to get back with it. So I take the Back on Track. I think it is an excellent card, and especially in this deck. Next pick, I'm very surprised to see the Veteran Beast Rider, Colladin, and Ride's End all available. White was really being disrespected in this draft. I think if I was a bit more switched on, I would have clocked and pivoted to white earlier, but we weren't getting past a huge amount of good white earlier in the draft. So here I just go for a Path Cruiser. Always happy to have more fixing, and I don't think it'll be hard to crew with our double Tortoise and Veloheart Bike as well. It's a lot of power that we can use to crew our Path Cruiser. Could even maybe activate its exhaust with the 2 Veloheart Bikes we have. Astounding pick here, we've got another Path Cruiser, a Mammoth and a Ketrodon. Usually here I pick the Mammoth. As I explained, it just loses less hard to bounce off, but I actually take the Ketrodon because I think in multicolour decks, cheap cycling is worth more, and also I value having reach to get rid of those pesky flyers, and also you can get it back with Back on Track if you cycle it, which happened in a few of my games. Here, not thinking too much about this pick, I just go for a Sky Street Engineer. Solid 2-drop, it can block, it can exhaust and get back our Afterburner Expert, it's fine. Again, here we go for a Pit Automaton. It goes with our 2 exhaust creatures. We don't have a lot of exhaust here. We're probably cutting the second Automaton, but whatever. Last few picks are pretty boring. Go for a Hull Drifter. A lot of Hull Drifters going around. Go for a Memory Guardian, I can't remember, I don't think we ended up playing any of these cards, and then a Hull Drifter, and that's our deck. So overall, it looks like a deck with a lot of hidden small synergies. We've got some exhaust going on. We've got our Scurryfoot, our Engineer, and our Afterburner Expert, which can obviously all recur our Expert. We've got Pit Automaton for multiple exhaust if the game goes late, and yeah, a lot of recursion as well with Carrion Cruiser, and we can also ramp into the ability to exhaust like later in the game with our Veloheart bikes, which also help to just secure our later drops, which have all sorts of double pip splashes in them. So yeah, a lot has to go right. Our fixing could be a lot better. I wish we did have more land fixing. It's very dependent on hitting our Veloheart bikes, but we don't have that much green. Thankfully though, our colorless 2-drops in Pit Automaton and Ticket Tortoise are going to prove to be really solid in locking down our early game and us being able to play our bombs. So yeah, let's see how this plays out in the games. The game that I want to highlight from this run is game 2 of my second match against this nice fella across from us. I won game 1, so he's on the play. He plays a forest, I play a forest, he plays an island, I play an island, I play Skystreak Engineer, he plays an island, taps 3 to play Veloheart Bike, I play a mountain, and attack for 1 damage in the air. I then tap 3 to play my Afterburner Expert. He plays a forest, taps his 4 lands and his Veloheart Bike for an Earth Rumbler. I play forest and attack with my Expert and Skystreak Engineer. I exhaust my Expert to make it a 6/4, dealing 7 damage, thinking what's the worst that could happen? Turns out, a lot. He taps 4 to play a Fanguardian, buffing his Earth Rumbler to a 9/8 and cruise it with his Fanguardian. He attacks for 9 damage, but he's still not done. He taps his Veloheart Bike for 1 green mana to cast Run Over on my Afterburner Expert, which is cost reduced because he's targeting his own vehicle. A huge tempo swing for my opponent, and I'm left with just a 1/3 flyer against his 7/6 vehicle, 4/2 creature, and 4/2 Veloheart Bike, having just taken 9 damage. On my turn, I play a Swamp. This is the crucial moment of the game. I could leave up my Engineer, holding the exhaust to make it a 3/5 and bringing back my Afterburner Expert and double block his Earth Rumbler, but letting him kill both my Engineer and Expert. But I hate my position there, and I feel like I'd be playing on the back foot, and it's not a very efficient use of my mana. Instead, I swing for 1 damage. I play Scurryfoot and pass, leaving up my exhaust. He plays an island and taps his bike to play an Autarch Mammoth, and uses the elephant token it generates to crew Earth Rumbler and swings. I exhaust my Scurryfoot, bringing back my Afterburner Expert and double block with my Scurryfoot and Afterburner Expert. I then make a pseudo bluff attack with my elephant, planning to kill the mammoth with Run Over if he blocks. But he doesn't block, maybe he's worried about Bestow Greatness, and takes 3 damage. He plays his 6th land, taps 3 mana to cast Roverblades. He then taps 3 mana and his Veloheart Bike to equip it to his Autarch Mammoth, giving it double strike. He then saddles his Mammoth with his Elephant and Fanguardian and moves to attacks. I'm staring down the barrel of a 5/5 double striking Mammoth that creates a 3/3 elephant token every time it attacks, and I'm going to be on 1 HP after this attack because I can't make any good blocks, and Run Over doesn't do anything in this situation. But then, I spot the line. I let him bring me to 1 HP, and exhaust my Engineer on his end step, making it a 3/5 flyer and bringing back my Afterburner Expert. With a 4/2, 3/3 and a 3/5 on board, I cast Run Over on his untapped elephant and swing for exact lethal on board. A great game that really went down to the wire, showing that every single point of HP matters in a game of Magic. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any suggestions, please comment them down below, and if you want to follow along for our journey, we're going to be uploading this on a lot more regular basis. So please subscribe, like it if you did, and yeah, catch you next week on Pack 1 Pick 12.